I'm surprised there's nothing going around with Marner. No noise around him at all. Like I've heard more about Mikko Rantanen this season than I've heard about Marner's contract.
You think it's cause for concern?
I'm just like confused. It's Toronto. Like, why is it so quiet? I think the biggest thing is that the playoffs are going to be a big. It's going to be big for Marner in the offseason, in the postseason. Sorry, on how his contract goes.
It could be a situation. Sometimes teams do this with the pending UFA. A team and the player comes to a mutual agreement before the season starts that we're going to hold any contract talks until after the year. Maybe that's what's going on.
That's probably that could be it. That's probably why I haven't heard anything. But I think like usually you hear a lot. I think this postseason though, if Marner doesn't perform, like Toronto's already always all over the guy. I think they're gonna just like be like, "Yo,
he's done. He's getting old Yeller in the back."
But after watching him in Four Nations, I feel like this guy's like he still got it in him, man. If it's not just his fault.
It's not his fault. Because you know why? Because his teammate on the other hand,
Austin Matthews,
he's a no-show in that game. He was also a big. He also was in part of the biggest moment of that game where he got McDavid left wide. Yeah,
and Marner made the play. That was just a big game for Marner. I feel like you can't really doubt him that much. Like I think that kind of gave him a little more room to perform and shit like that.
Go ahead.
I think he earned that right. I mean, a guy who's been a point per game player for about like 5-6 years, even if not longer, he's going to be valued by the other 29, 30 teams in the NHL. That's the thing, right? Like any other team's going to be like, we'll add that guy in UFA. Mikko Rantanen got $12 million. Any other team's not going to hesitate to do the same.
Yeah, I think he could get like 14.
He wants more, and I think that's what you're saying, Sartaj. The contingency, maybe why there haven't been any contract talks as of right now, is maybe he's saying I want like 14, and Toronto's valuing him at around 12, and it's like, okay, well, let's see what happens in the playoffs.
I think it's a wait and see situation.
I think he's kind of. I think if out of both of those, Mikko Rantanen and Mitch Marner, I think he's valued more because you've seen what he could do on his own, right? He can handle himself. Like
he's a playmaker.
He's a playmaker, right?
Kind of
Matthews been in and out of the lineup, and Mitch Marner's been holding it down this whole entire season. So I think Mitch has more value. Like Saraj said, he's a playmaker. I think he goes to any team, he can make anybody just as good. He could just be and he kind of plays that good. He plays a decent two-way game too. He could play that penalty kill if he needs to. He could. I don't know if he's much of a center, but he can play center. I'm pretty sure, right?
No, any team in the league will welcome someone like 100%. That. He's an all-around, I guess, polished enough player that I don't think there are any holes in his game. He is what he is. He's an elite playmaking guy. He can play penalty kill, and that's that effectively. I think the issue for Toronto is if you lose him, then who's to say that Matthews is going to stay? Right? Like you have to pay this guy. Because moving forward, what do they have if they don't have Marner and Matthews?
To be honest, they need Marner and they need all three of them. They need all three of them, right? But they need Marner there to keep Matthews happy because Matthews doesn't get any of the criticism. It's always Mitch Marner.
Mitch Marner gets hit on. Yeah,
he's the one he's the punching bag.
He's a whipping boy. Man.
Yeah, he's a whipping boy.
You know what? Like after watching that Four Nations, I don't think he deserves it. Right? He answered my call. I called him out. He fucking put up 2 points, two key points. He's like, I got this. I think he kills penalties. He does all the things too. I think you got to just at least make Matthews like do something too. Because I was looking at Matthews' numbers today. His playoffs numbers are just a little worse than Marner's.
No, they've been worse.
Where's the flack? Where's the flack there? Where's the hate on Matthews?
Oh, is it plain? Come on, what do we have to talk about here? It's because the Toronto media doesn't want to push Matthews out.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? And if Arizona was still a team, they would have a big issue there because maybe he wanted to go back home.
Yeah.
I mean, look what happened with Phil Kessel, right? They were so hard on Phil Kessel.
So hard, and he left.
Right? He can't even eat a hot dog without getting scrutinized, right? And
couldn't even drink a Diet Coke without getting yelled at.
As a result, I think that was the reason why since he's been drafted and why there hasn't been so much scrutiny against Toronto in general for their lack of playoff success over all these years.
It's because they want to keep him, right?
Marner, I think it's because maybe he's a GTA guy, a Greater Toronto area guy, and maybe that's why he's been getting the scrutiny. He's probably been getting the scrutiny since he's been a major junior, right? Like
his dad.
With. And just listen to what Paul Marner has to say. He's talking to his son, not the ref.
You better get fucking skating, Mitch. I swear to God.
Hey, I'll do that.
I got nothing to say, right?
I don't want no smoke. Mr. Marner. I don't want any smoke. All right, you did a great job raising your kid. You did the right thing by me. But I feel like exactly. He's the guy that gets shit on, like Sartaj says. Look at last year, Matthews didn't even play for like 3 games. Mm-hmm. They just shit on this guy. They're like, oh, Matthews, he's hurt, like blah blah. If it was Mitch Marner that did that,
yeah, they would have
ripped him. Bitch, huh? Look at this pussy. He ain't playing. That's what happened.
I'm telling you, it's because they don't want Matthews to leave, man.
Yeah, I know, but it's like then when Mitch Marner leaves and he goes to another team and he say like he does well. They're going to be like, oh, what the fuck? Why was he playing so well? Where was this when we...
Same thing what they did with Phil Kessel when he went to Pittsburgh. They always made a big deal. Even when they traded into Pittsburgh, they were like, oh, Kessel wasn't that guy. He was never the main go-to guy. That's why he didn't play better over there. Like over in Pittsburgh, he doesn't have to be. He's not the Crosby or Malkin. Even though Phil Kessel was putting in work in the playoffs, he was carrying his own line.
He had his own line. They had a whole line. They had a whole mono. Shawn Michaels out here. Shawn Michaels came to the game for them.
Yeah.
There was an argument that he could have won the Conn Smythe Trophy.
Yeah,
100%. I think he had the most points on the team when they won the cup that year.
Yeah, he did. And it was just like a shock. Like it just shocks me that like I get like they want to keep Austin Matthews there, right? But you can't neglect the one guy that's there that's actually like putting in work.
Yeah.
Like Nylander, he's in and out too. He's also fucking wishy-washy about that shit. Right. He one day he's in and one day he's out. Right.
Yeah.
And then same thing with Matthews. The one guy that's actually there giving his all out. Every single game. Like he makes mistakes. He makes some dumb mistakes. Like in that the series they lost to. In the bubble against the Canadians, he made a bunch of mistakes, but like he still showed out. Like he still shows out. He comes back every year, still gives it his all. And while Matthews guys like when they go and get tough, sometimes they just like, hey, I need a couple of days off. I'm not gonna be able to play right now.
That's why that Martin Nylander clips around, right? Because he's like, stop fucking crying.
Whatever you need to do.
Fucking shoot it. Stop fucking crying, bro. This is the fucking issue. You guys fucking bitch about shit. Fucking go.
Yeah.
I think he's yelling. I'm pretty sure he's yelling at Matthews from what I heard.
He should have been yelling at himself. Why don't you not cut so many Amazon Prime promos with your chain out and doing shit like that?
And you thrive under pressure, right?
Of course.
Where was that promo during the Four Nations Cup? I didn't see that.
She yelled at Pedersen.
But this is something that if Toronto's strategy was we're going to wait it out as long as we can before we pay this guy because they don't want to pay like 14 million, 15 million, I think it's worked out what's the word I'm looking for? Awfully for Toronto because the way he's played in the Four Nations and the amount of points he's accumulated for all these years, someone's gonna be paying him that
100%.
no matter what, right? Like
I would any team out there, I'm just going for him.
If I'm like, I think about a team like Minnesota, I'm going all in.
Yeah, even a team like Buffalo. We said it before.
Buffalo.
Any team that needs a veteran, he's 27 years old. He's going to be like your top player. Yeah, you take him any second. He accelerates your team right away. Like if you're a team that's got guys who are 24, 25. Like Buffalo is a perfect example. Guys in their mid 20s. This guy brings them up into like playing now, right?
Any team that who can make the money work will be in on him.
Yeah,
LA Kings they'll go for him for sure. Canucks
definitely. I'm definitely gonna put all the money on him.
Edmonton for crying out loud if they can make the money work.
Make it work then,
any team will welcome a top line guy. That you can just plug and play instantly, and he's going to be guaranteeing you point per game production.
Yeah,
that's far and few between in the NHL.
And right? I think, I think Sartar's right in that sense. People aren't making a big deal about this guy because this guy could be a game-changing move. Like, right? This could be like, think about like I brought up the fact of if say he goes to Minnesota, he plays with Kaprizov. Kaprizov already on his own put in work. Like he was leading the league at one point in points before he got hurt. Like now, imagine he gets a guy with Mitch Marner that makes the game easier for him. He doesn't even have to do anything. It just easy happens now for him. Like it just changes the whole projective. And look at Minnesota; they've been holding on to that third seed in the
Central.
In the Central without Kaprizov. Yeah. Now you add a guy with like Mitch Marner, you have Kaprizov, you have Brock Favors, you have Boldy, you have Erson Ek.
Yeah. Suddenly you become a formidable force.
Suddenly you're top contender in that
definitely
conference.
Yeah. They went all in on Prezi, and I'd say Marner's a better player than Prezi.
100%. Prezi was already watched at that point.
He was. He's close.
I think it has to be like maybe they just don't want to talk about contract negotiations during the year.
Yeah.
Because otherwise this is going awfully for Toronto if they don't have a plan.
I honestly think it's a lose-lose for Toronto either way it happens because I think their core is kind of like cooked at this point. And they got three.
The reason why I brought it up was because the media wasn't talking about it either, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, usually the media will make some noise. Like even when it's like Vancouver or something happened with Pedersen, his contract is up at some point, they're making some noise. I feel like there's been a lack of noise with Marner. I feel like there should be more. Hey, how much is he gonna get now?
But maybe that's what the media. That's what it was though. Like maybe they're presented with that. Like we're not going to talk about this contract until.
Lame. That's lame.
Yeah.
Just do your job.
Yeah.
Talk about his fucking value.
True.
He's gonna get paid. He's gonna get paid more than you think he was.
I think it's almost even Marner, although he's been the whipping boy for Toronto. None of the guys in Toronto have gotten scrutinized as much as they should have, given their playoff failures these last 7 years. Right? They've dropped the ball so many times that there's no need to even talk about it.
Yeah.
But maybe they're not talking about the contract extension or doing anything like that because they don't want that to get messed up. Because this is a business at the end of the day, right?
Yeah.
And if you lose Marner, then the Leafs effectively don't become as potent as they are right now. And right now the Leafs are popping. Everything's high. Ticket prices, media coverage, everything's high.
Facts.
Right? So they want to keep a guy like that in Toronto.
100%.
So maybe they don't want to stir the pot in the wrong
That's
type
true.
of way.
That's
They
true.
learn from their mistakes, right?
Yeah.
20 years ago when sports media was more hardcore, you already know what every topic would be. And Matthews would have gotten scrutinized a lot more too. He probably would have
100%.
left by now.
Yeah.
Right? But they lived and they learned from that Phil Kessel era, I think. That's why you never see, what's his name? Is it Steve Simmons? The guy with the,
Steve
the hot dog
Yeah.
takes?
Yeah.
I haven't seen Steve Simmons in years.
I think
now.
he just he pops up once in a while, says something stupid to Austin Matthews, gets a weird look, and then Austin Matthews moves on.
He's still doing his thing.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of parodies of guys like pretending with their Austin Matthews doing an interview, and then they're like having good times, like, "Hey, how was your summer? How was your summer?" And then Steve Simmons asks a question, like, "Yo, yeah." Like, that's what it was. Austin Matthews like with Steve Simmons.
Well, the Toronto media did to themselves. They put this guy on TSN. They propped him up,
yeah.
and then they got mad that he is what he is. Steve Simmons is like, this is who I am, man.
He's
I'm
like
gonna be asking the hot dog questions.
He's a
He's
rat.
ask why Phil Kessel eating 5 hot dogs a game and not scoring goals. Huh? I am gonna ask that.
Right.
I am gonna ask why this number one.
Did he follow him around or something like that? He saw him eating hot dogs and shit like that.
Yeah, he was on the street, man. He was a vendor.
Gotcha. Gotcha, bitch.
It was me all along.
Hey, I gave you free.
He said you want a hot dog, no mustard, right? You can't trust this guy. All relish, no mustard. I don't know.
No ketchup either. No mustard. Come on. What are you doing?
Not cooked.
Get some food poisoning every time. He's like, oh, my bad. I'm sorry.
And he's getting the Coke. No Diet Coke. You're playing for the league, goddammit.
Just a raw wiener.
Boss.